Thank you so much, Elsa. Thank you so much, Adesola, for these presentations and the discussion of the energy survey, citywide energy survey, as well as some of the COVID response. I think that the work that you guys are doing at JEI and the Federation are just brilliant. It's not easy to do a citywide survey of informal settlements and slums, is it? But I really appreciated you speaking about some of the protocols that you follow, Adesola, because I think that there's definitely a push by other organizations like yourselves. While you were speaking, I was messaging with a colleague in Nairobi who is based in an informal settlement and has been, working toward professionalizing community data collection, because you really are, you've got the survey sampling methodology, but you've also got all the protocols to engage with community leaders and do sensitization and build that trust before the data collection activity. And as a result of that, the quality of the data and the completeness of the data is so much better than if an outside team comes in and does it without those same protocols. So I think you really are so well situated and doing really extraordinary work to identify the true challenges that people are facing, not only in your own community, but across other similar communities in the whole city. And so I think the Idea Maps Network is very much interested in supporting groups like your own that are trying to professionalize the whole protocol around community data collection, that it's not just in your own community, that you're in a position to actually branch out much farther and do big collaborations with, big name groups like the state government or the C40 organization. So it's really brilliant. Can I ask you the same kind of question that I asked our colleagues in India, which is, I know that, JEI is really good about sharing data and making data open where possible, and you're really good about collaborations and whatnot. What data coming back would be useful? And I'm thinking we'll hear next from Flavia Feitosa, who's going to be speaking about her research in Brazil as a data scientist. People like Flavia and many other colleagues in the Idea Maps Network work with satellite imagery data, spatial data that covers many different communities and cities and even countries. Is there ways that we can format our data and send it back to individual communities or multiple communities in a federation like your own that would be really useful and meaningful? And the types of data I'm thinking about would come from satellite images. So features, building footprints, road locations, different types of materials on the ground or on rooftops, for example, or flood zones or heat, spikes in heat at certain months or certain times of the year. These are all things that can be measured with remote sensing and satellite imagery. Do you have a need for that kind of data? If so, how would it be useful to get that data back?
Lando, I'll let you go first.
Okay. Actually, most of the data that we collected, the essence of the data is to go back to the community, just like collecting Indian said, go back to the community and let them understand the true picture of the issues at concern. Now, for instance, in JEI, in Federation now, we do a lot of data collection and profiling team. Then those data now, we'll bring it back to the community, because the data, we don't hold the data. The data actually belongs to the community. Like I said, we talk to the leaders there. They have encouraged us to go ahead. If you don't encourage us, we won't do whatever we're doing there. Every data we collect from each community still goes back to the community. The leaders will now look at it and say, okay, this is what the data, from the data, this is what we are able to conclude. These are issues that are happening in this community. Then what exactly do you want to prioritize so that we can now be an advocate for you, either through the government or through other media to assist in whatever you want to do? Is the community that will now say, okay, from this data now, this is what you're making as our priority. This is what we wanted now. Don't mean there's a need for us to have a canal here. There's need for us to do this stuff here. This electricity is our major crisis here. It's the community that will now, through the data that we created, will now identify their priority. Then for us now to work with them, have a close relationship with them so that we can advocate and then see how we can sort this issue out. Either we advocate for them through the government or through any other media. So most of the data we collect are not for us. They still go back to the
That's
community.
brilliant. When you say bring data back to the community, what's the actual format? Is it a report with some, graphs and images in it? Do you ever provide like an Excel table or something like that as well?
Exactly. It's most time in data form and in a map form. The map, then we will try to explain to them how their community look like. Then we'll even do a formal presentation of the data to the community. We are the community, we have to invite the leaders and then the community members too. So we'll tell them what the community look like, what the issue is. That's what we do.
And if I just want to add something, most of the time we try to make it in a format that they can keep, that they know how. So we might create some maps that we get them laminated and in A3 format, so then they can be maybe one is kept at some of the leaders' office or place, but then some also are also like just placed on the wall where a lot of people, and like maybe one of the entrance or like a well-known street so many people can see it. We also like one of the most common way we present data is on banner. So then again, the idea is like we will have this moment when we explain and share the data and get the data validated by the community. And then we leave the banner so then it can be hanged somewhere and so everyone can have access. Now, it's also like an additional step on this is that we do not stop at the presentation. So most of the time we also like when doing a comprehensive study, like when we do enumeration, for example, we actually go one step forward and like we meet first in the community, we present the data, and maybe like 2 or 3 weeks after, we ask the community to do the same kind of event, but they are the one presenting the data. And that's now we come as like making sure that they understand the data, they know how to use them, they know how to making sure like they know how to read the graph or how to read the percentage number, that there's no gap in the way or mistake in the way they present. And that is a way for us to making sure that they are the one that are able to use it and they are ready to use it. And then we are now then ready to support them, taking additional steps to reach out to different government agency or other NGO that can provide other services now that they have the data.
That's really great. One of our attendees has asked for clarification. Do the communities and or the leaders in communities receive the raw data if they would like to have it? So that could be the raw survey data or raw map files?
I don't think, I mean, there's no issue. I don't think it ever been asked, to be really honest, but there will be absolutely no issue to share this back to them.
Great.
But that also, like having a raw data means that you have a computer to be able to open them and you know how to read them. So that asks for certain like first knowledge capacity and then also like material capacities. But also like we have an office in Lagos that is a kind of a community center where like anyone can like come and then we can share them and show them on the computer, this kind of thing. So anything.
Great. We've got 3 questions coming in from Beatrice Hattie. I'm going to read them because it's a little bit long and we don't have a ton of time. So maybe we can pick one question to answer here and then anything else we can follow up and include in the blog post that will come after this presentation or this workshop today. So Beatrice asks, how do you scale up thematic research activities from the local level to the city, regional, and global level? Her second question is about vertical relationships have come out clearly. However, how is horizontal knowledge exchange facilitated, for example, community to community? So not just up to say government and back down. And has this had any urban development impact? I'm going to stop there because there's a third question, but just with those 2, do you have any quick thoughts before we wrap up?
Do you want to? Okay, okay, no worries. So I'm gonna first go on to the second question about like the horizontal knowledge exchange. So like I will say, maybe we haven't like strengthened this enough, but the federation is a grassroots movement We have like more than 1,000 of members in Lagos. So the sharing of the information and data or knowledge here will be shared. Like we are planning for this specific survey. We're planning to do now like some LGA level data sharing, where we were gonna invite some different representatives of communities and some different people to come to this event, so they can learn about the data at their LGA level and not only at the community level. And so we can also like, I think we've shown you a bunch of pictures of people doing the work on ground. There is a large variety of communities in Lagos. I know most of the people, when they hear about Lagos and informal settlement, the first link that we made is like, okay, Makoko and community on waters. But there's like so many different community. Like Adeshola comes from Alimosho, which is an LGA that has no access to water. So there's no community on water, but there's a ton of different communities. Some mainly built in wood, some mainly built like in cement block, some on water, some on land. So there will also be exchange between people, the community that share the same kind of organization. But that is kind of done also naturally because we saw other pattern of discussion. But this is how we make sure that all the data and information is also used for the movement, and the movement is including everyone. So it's not only just about one LGA or one community, it's part of something bigger that we can use for the advocacy.
And let me quickly add this to what Elsa said. And if you look at the structure of federation, the JAI, discover that it's a movement, a grassroots movement. So basically, all these countries that we're talking about now, each time we go there, do a survey or make a data for them, we still ensure that we have our own stand there. I mean, we create a service group there where members service group belongs to the federation. They also live in that community. Then part of them too that are interested also learn forward to the JEI programs. They understand all this. They go into other by the time they come into the federation proper, then they begin to introduce them into other sectors of the other sections in the federation that they can also learn. So this will now give them the privilege of understanding what we do. They go back to their community and then make their community leaders where they live, and they understand what the organization is doing. So each time they also conduct their service group meeting during their LGA meetings and during their other monthly meetings. So this one will give us opportunity of sharing information, what the community needs to know. So what, as we have done the practical information, then the information also set down from the community leaders down to the people that have shown their interest of becoming a member or a volunteer in the federation. As they get to understand this, they share it down. So it goes down so that every member of the community is to understand what the data and what the information we are sharing is all about, so I can help the community better. That's all.
So just maybe to add something else and bring a quick answer to question 1 and 3. So it's all about like how you share your data. Of course, since this survey was a very official research, there's going to be an official report. There's going to be hundreds of pages with a lot of charts and like scientific vocabulary with like household gas emission, these kind of things, because that's what we were asked to do. But then we feel that our work as well is to make sure that any data that we collected is usable and understandable by anyone. So we're going to create also other means of sharing the information. Maybe it will be just like one A4 page recap of the LGA people lives in, and we can share this document with them. Or maybe it's going to be just the recommendation that we feel that we should have, so we can share it with other key players in the regional or the international stage, so they can also help us in advocating. So that's to answer the first question. And to help with this, like I think it's Red Bull Energy that is mentioned in the question, but I also learned a lot about like the fatigue of being studied, but nothing being really done for the people. Is when you share back with them in a way that they understand and that they can use, that you empower them to do something next. And it's not only like you took the data and you've done the survey, you've done the report you were asked to do. You go back with something, you check that people are enabled to use this data and to do something, and you help them to do something with it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, our final words.
Exactly.
Any final words, Adesola, before we turn over to Flavia?
Well, I would just need to thank you especially and the Idea Map Network for bringing this up. It's quite interesting, and I'm impressed with what you are doing here. It's quite impressive. And thank you for all listening. Then, if you really want to know more about what we do or our past works, then look up on your screen that you can see our contact. Then you can always reach out to us, and then we'll be able to give you more information.